Thank you for coming to Onionhead Andrew's weekly podcast. It's a pleasure, as always. A gift from God that I'm able to present, and we're able to have these discussions here, these genuine discussions. There's not many places where you can have genuine discussions about human trafficking, especially neuroweapons human trafficking, and this is one, and we have survivors here. There's this general thought that as survivors, there's very little that we can do, right? And this is what we were talking about right before the recording started. The first thing we can do is stabilize ourselves. And stabilizing ourselves involves, as far as I know right now, involves the paradigm, which is 1, the paradigm I've been presenting. 1, deactivating implants. 2, building and utilizing electronic components. And 3, detoxing nano. When we do that effectively, we can stabilize ourselves, right? And then there's these other higher things that we could be doing. Higher, I mean, where instead of just hitting that base requirement to live and function, where we can push back these efforts to enslave us. And what we were just talking about was signals intelligence and all the great things that can come out of signals intelligence. Now, right before I started recording, there was a person that was talking particularly about cell phone towers she had found in her near environment using an app. I didn't catch what app she's using. If you want to speak right now and explain how you did that, that would be great. This is good information for people. If you don't want to talk, that's fine too.
Hi, yeah. I first started with an app called 5G, 4G, 3G cellular finder. And then I have 3 other apps that are all showing me that there are 3 cell towers located inside my house. One of them is called just cell towers. No, actually 2 are called cell towers, and then there's one cellular tower. So I just went to the App Store and I typed in the cell tower finder. But I have several other apps, and they're not finding it. But there's one app that actually can point you in the direction of a cell tower. I think it's called the coverage map. But I got them all just from typing in cell tower finder in the App Store on my iPhone. And then, so on one of them, it literally says there are 3 LTE 4G cell towers. So they're called femtocells or mini cell towers. They're really small, maybe the size of a modem or a little bit bigger. I researched that, and they can be used for your own internal to boost your signal, or have your own cell tower in your house or your property so that you can get a better signal. That's why people use it. But I know that when you lease out your property to a cell company, they pay thousands of dollars a month for that. So somebody could be making, a lot of money of that. If you lease your property, you can actually make a good amount of money if you want to put a cell tower on your property. So I have 3 of them, and I'm just trying to locate them now. I don't know. They actually it says they went online 2 months after I had my roof done. So they tore apart my whole roof and put a new roof on, and they could have done anything at that point. Maybe it took a month or 2 for it to come online. So I find that really odd that it happened right at that time. So I think that's how it came about.
Caller, oftentimes these things, they aren't publicly listed technologies. So it's like you're finding the overt public side interfacing, but the actual device itself is probably, this big or something like that. It's probably, if you can see my hands, it's probably like half an inch big. And it's probably painted over or something like that. And you're right, maybe it was done during the installation of your roof, and it's involved in the installation of your roof because they had a contractor. One of the contractors there on site was involved in human trafficking, which is fairly common for contracting. There's a whole money laundering scheme going on in every county involving contractors here in the United States and Canada. But it could have also been done after a break-in. We don't really know. The public side of it is what you were seeing on the cell tower app you were using, the cell tower finder app. Now, I've done the same thing, and I found a cellular tower at 2 different locations, aimed, for lack of a better terminology, directly over my house. And in one time, that information, I used Wiggle app, Wiggle. This was, last time I did it was 5 years ago, but it went to an open field. All right, the time before that, I did it at a different house I lived at. It went to the local private security firm that had the contract for my human trafficking, for the human trafficking that's going on in my life right now, that has been for the last 10, 12 years. Now, there were other people that had similar experiences. There's 2 in particular. If either one of those want to comment on this. It's okay if you don't. I was thinking of G and K, but it's okay.
Track it.
Wait, I didn't quite catch that, Andrew. What do you need?
Oh, I was saying, hadn't you looked up these things too and found them in your environment?
Yeah, I did. So I use the Cellular Finder app also, the 3G, 4G, 5G. I had trouble with it. So I think maybe they interfered with it or blocked it. I'm not quite sure. So someone who had success with it was able to plug in my address and send me screenshots. And I have a ton of cellular towers around me. It's absurd. The thing is, because they sent me the screenshot and they did it, I can't click on them and individually find out more information. So, and I don't want to continue to ask them to, to do that because they're investigating their own situation. So I'll try it again. I'll remove the app and then I'll download it again. But I have some interesting things that I found with Bluehound. In that, I paid $1.99 on the just a one-time fee. So I track Wi-Fi and just some things that show up on that app that's around me, and I do that frequently. And then the third item was somebody did this for me. They were in another state, but they did this, and I don't know if it was the Wiggle app. I'm not really sure, but I think maybe it was. They located 2 UMTS towers, I think they're called. Those are military towers. They were used back in the day. They claim for like military communication. But these 2 towers, I can't visually see them. The one I think may be concealed as like a huge electrical box on a corner, according to the map where it was located, and then the other one, I still can't find it visually. So I have to like go walking a bit further. But these things are on the map within one block, one city block. There's 2 of them. Now, why would they be there? There's, they were there, I guess, installed. But to get further information on them, I would have to go to the local government office here, because I live in the suburbs. So go to like the planning. I think they said to go to the county planning office in your suburb. So I live in a huge county, right? But there's a planning building and planning office located somewhere, and I need to go there to find out more information about these towers, which I intend on doing. I want to know where exactly they're located because I can't see them, but visually. And like I said, I think maybe the one tower may be connected to that huge electrical box, huge, as a marker, but that's according to, I believe, the person who helped me do that used Wiggle.net, but I'm gonna do Wiggle.net on my own also. But
yeah,
go ahead.
In my limited experiments and experience with these doing this basic signals intelligence, that those cell phone towers and Bluetooth The Bluetooth, this is what I noticed in my environment. This might not always be true. The Bluetooth sensors that you can get from like looking up, was that Bluehound, Gigi, you were using?
Yeah, Bluehound.
Yeah, I think that's the one I used too. I can't remember, but it was a war driving. There was a lady who showed me how to do this. I've asked her to come on, but she's working on something. She will eventually come on and talk about it. But I found that those were for geofencing, and that like it's as we pass or move near these Bluetooth markers, it's enabling various weapon systems to work more accurately, either from the drone or ground-based weapon systems around you. Mostly what I'm talking about is aerosols, to guide aerosols into your breathways. That's just what I noticed, because they were positioned near areas that later I found out the aerosols were traveling through from neighbors that were involved in this human trafficking. They were releasing these heavy concentrated chemicals, and the Bluetooth signals were helping guide them more or less to me. And then I think I'm right, but I just don't have enough knowledge about the other side of the weapons, because who does, right, besides the people doing it? And then the other thing, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, I looked into that a little bit, and it's similar to how they direct aircraft. So they use heading and trajectory. So what you've got is a large signal coming from a great distance, and then these Bluetooth devices and Wi-Fi devices guide them closer to you. So it's the difference between heading and trajectory, the same way that an aircraft can be pointed in the direction that it's supposed to go. It's called over the horizon radar. So it's like it doesn't have a direct line of sight, and because it doesn't have a direct line of sight, it uses these smaller Bluetooths as transducers to sort of bounce them in your direction.
Thank you for that.
That's what discovered.
I'll have to look more into that. If you could send me any information you've got about it, that'd be great. And then the second thing, the cell phone towers. I've noticed that if you look at your like on your laptop or your cell phone, more so laptop because it's got a better Wi-Fi reader, and you just see there'll be anywhere between 10 to 30 of these different Wi-Fi signals coming into your house. And I believe it's just to increase the ambient magnetism of the weapon systems can piggyback off of. A lot of times we're talking about aerosols, but sometimes, I don't know, you know what I mean? Whatever frequency they're aiming at you, it can literally piggyback off what people call dirty electricity, but what you could say would be just ambient magnetism would be another way to say that. So I think that's what the cell phone towers are, and then also collecting the data of, like a stingray, collecting the data of everyone that moves through that area, and your own, of course, right? Like the targeted persons. Okay, so before I move on, does anyone else want to comment anything about that subject, just real basic, anyone can do signals intelligence?
Yes, Onionhead. Hi, this is Betty from Alabama. Are you familiar with Betty Do? Because she was introduced that information about cell towers to us, I think, in 2022, and we did campaigns, but I wasn't assigned to work on that campaign. I was assigned to do work on another campaign.
Are you talking about Bobby?
People, no, Betty, B-E-T-T-Y, Betty Do. She's from Texas, and she was somewhat of an expert in this area, and she's very much aware of what goes on, what these cell towers produce and present. And it has something, I don't want to say too much because I don't know. As I stated, I didn't work on that project. But, yeah, are you all familiar with her? Because if someone is familiar with her, she's an expert in that area. She has knowledge about those towers. Mm-hmm.
No, I wasn't familiar with her, but there was a lady who was doing the internet side of it that I was getting most of this information from. She'll be on eventually. Her name's Bobby. She's just busy right now.
Okay.
Okay, I got a completely different subject.
I will say this.
Go ahead.
I will say this. She said to watch for 4 bars. And, 4 bars. So whenever I see a cell tower, I always watch for count the bars. And that has it's those bars mean something. And I guess I won't say too much because I didn't work on that project. But, yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
And I don't particularly know, but I do know the thing about the ambient magnetism being used to help target you, help the directed energy weapons piggyback off them. Okay, so if no one's got anything else to say about that, then basically I had a completely different subject in mind, and then a Q&A like normal. We just talk about the Q&A will be just regular counterintelligence stuff, or directed energy weapons, or wearables, or devices, the stun gun, EMP, what have you, things like that, the paradigm information. But the thing I had presented, or a thing I've been thinking about all week, and every time I went to like codify this more to bring you guys some sort of presentation, something told me not to, that it needed to be more of an open discussion, and it's disassociation. That's what I've been thinking about for the last 2 or 3 weeks, honestly, but particularly the last week. Disassociation it's such a convoluted term and idea. This is why I didn't play a video, because I didn't want us to use the psychiatric definition of it. The psychiatric definition is basically that, like, it's a paradigm, it's a spectrum, and on the low end it's what you would call phasing out, or like being in a slight trance, like for example when you mow a lawn or something like that. And then on the high end of disassociating would be having split personality. And split personality disorder now is called dissociative identity disorder. But I didn't think that was quite accurate for what we're talking about today. Disassociation for us survivors is basically, this is the way I'm thinking about it. And I don't know if I'm right. I just, in a serviceable way, this is what I'm thinking, is that when there is all of these things happening in our life, right? And it's so unbelievable to the average person that if you've experienced these things, then you'll understand exactly what I'm saying. You have to disconnect from it on some level. There are periods of my life where I can hardly remember. Months and months and months happened, years and years ago. In fact, my memory isn't accurate until these last few years because of all the terrible things I experienced for so long that are now just a little bit subsiding, right? I cannot accurately recall what I was doing, what I felt. I know where I was, but how I got through those moments in a moment-to-moment way, like I can today. Whole chunks of my life. And I'm not going to get into the particulars of it because that's not what this podcast is for. But literally years and years and years where I was in and out of a very low-grade disassociation because I had to survive. Well, at least at the time, I didn't have the tools necessary to not disassociate, right? And now I do. Long story short, awareness. Awareness stops me from disassociation a lot of the time, not all of the time. I'll still get caught up in like daydreams and things like that to help me get through a particular moment, where I imagine a life that I haven't had for a very long time, or imagine what it would be like to be pain-free, to be able to walk and live, right, and all that type of thing, and without, tens of people following me around everywhere I go. Not just the the citizen informants. I'm talking about like the murderers and rapists, the human traffickers that operate in the circles that are trafficking people with neuroweapons. But I just wanted to touch on this because disassociation is so key. It's so important in a learned helplessness attitude. And I find that the learned helplessness attitude is the reason I can't reach people with the information that I have more often than not. The people that are here that have been working on the paradigm, which is deactivating implants using the stun gun EMP, it's very easy to build. You know, it takes $50 at most. That's if you have to get it shipped to you. Anyone can build it, like I was saying. And yet practically no one does it. They'll hear about it. A lot of people have heard about it now. Practically no one does it. A lot of that is learned helplessness. The second thing is building wearables. You can literally build wearables by using plastic wrap, copper wire, and metal tape or aluminum foil. Metal tape is aluminum tape, basically. It's aluminum foil with a sticky side. With those three things, you can build yourself a basic set of defense or armor or whatever you want to call it that will help dissipate the directed energy weapon strikes coming into you, especially after you've deactivated implants. And then third, detoxing nanomachinery, heavy metals, because there are aerosols that you are continuously breathing. And not only that, but the food supply is full of them. It can be as easy as fasting. And the reason the vast majority of the time I cannot reach people with this information is because they're in a state of disassociation and learned helplessness. Now, if you say that to anyone that's in a disassociated state, that yes, you're not doing these things to save your life because you're practicing learned helplessness, they'll get very upset at you. They'll, no, I'm not. You don't understand what it's like. And then they'll explain to you why they're disassociating. And it's like, I'm not saying this to be in judgment of anyone. I've spent years of my life in and out of a disassociated state. It's to say that this is what's happening to us, all right? When the traumas become so great, when reality becomes unreal, it's like I don't even know how to better frame that. When reality becomes so upside down with bullshit and all the different things that you're experiencing, you will just disconnect with that just to survive. And it's not just you, survivors here. It's literally anyone that goes through this at any time, in any point, right? It could be, it doesn't have to do with how strong of a woman or strong of a man you are. It really doesn't. In fact, sometimes you can be so strong and so secure in yourself that you go into disassociation even quicker, all right? Or smart. You're so smart and capable that your brain finds that this is, or your body, your soul, your spirit, whatever, finds that this is the best way to go even quicker. You get even quicker into disassociating. And with that in mind, when we're in a disassociated state, we're not feeling pain as acutely. We're not remembering traumas as accurately. We are not connecting with a thing that's traumatizing us as much. So it does serve a purpose, and it's something, again, that I'm still doing occasionally. I catch myself all the time. So stop doing that. Stop doing that. You got to stay in the moment. You got to stay in the moment with awareness. Feel what part of your body is doing what. Is your skin being heated, right? Because that sometimes can be a very subtle effect across your whole body. Is your foot being vibrated? Is a particular part of your head tinging with pain, right? And when you're aware of all of these things in a non-judgmental way, then you can slow everything down as much as possible when you find the time and space to do so. And when you slow everything down as much as possible with that awareness, what happens is something amazing. The learned helplessness drops and the solutions start pouring in, right? And you can focus that even further with prayer at that point. Once you've stopped disassociation, you've started the awareness, you've slowed everything down in your environment, yourself and your environment, however you can facilitate that, and then you pray on top of that, you will get all the answers that you need 9 times out of 10. And if you don't get that answer right then, you will shortly. That's been my experience over and over and over and over. And if
Hi. Can
hold on a second.
Can I sit down?
Hold on a second. Hold on.
Okay.
And if you don't have that awareness to break the disassociation, right, then you'll never, well, not never, but you'll spend so little time in the solutions place of ourselves that we need to be in to break through this. Now, I want to say one last thing about it, and then I'll open it up. The people that are doing this to you, the human trafficking groups, the citizen informants, the fake targets, all of that type of thing, the whole apparatus that is doing this to you is mostly disassociated from what they're doing. They spend the vast majority of their time in a disassociated state, usually because of alcohol. Alcohol plays a big part. It's not always alcohol. I mean, ultimately, it's because the traumas they've accepted in their life as being consistent and nothing they can do about it. It's because of their learned helplessness. All right, so everything you're experiencing, the people doing this to you are experiencing even more of it, usually. Not always. There are some psychopaths in the bunch that are very aware and not in a disassociated state of everything they're doing. All right, that's definitely true. But the vast majority of them are not psychopaths. They might be sociopaths. They might be narcissists. Who knows? Just the fact alone that they're human trafficking points to, yes, that's the case, that they are on that level somewhere. But that's all changes. That all changes based on the things we're doing, the things we're thinking, the ways we're interacting with the world. What's not changing is that these people attacking you are usually in a disassociated state of learned helplessness. They don't feel that there's any way to stop happening what's happening, so why don't they profit off of it? Okay? And I know that's going to be a tough thing for a lot of you to hear, is that the people doing this to you are like you in this way. But they are. All right? And with that in mind, it behooves you to forgive them. It really does. And I know that's a hard thing to say. They've literally killed members of my family. This local human trafficking gang killed 2 of my uncles within a year. Okay? So I'm not just saying this idly. And sorry, excuse me for trauma dumping. That wasn't the point. The point was that I'm not saying this idly. All right? Forgiving them will lift you above basically the bullshit that they're trying to put on you, right? When you're stuck in that hate mindset of the people that are in a disassociated state doing this to you, really you're in a battle with hate itself, all right, with hate and fear itself. Because if it wasn't these people doing it to you, it'd be some other disassociated person. It really would. These people in this, we live in disassociation United States, or United States of disassociation is what I meant to say. And it's not just here, all across the Western world and in much of the developing world, it's the same way. All right, so forgiving these people will get you so much farther along than not. All right, it lets you set that aside, that anger and that rage, and move into that awareness, that calmness, that solutions, and that prayer that will guide you out of it. And if I hadn't incorporated this into my life, I would not be able to be here right now talking to you. And I know this is the case for many of us here. We spend so much of our time in rage that propels us, but also that it propels us in a disassociated state that we must to move through the traumas that we're experiencing. Okay, that's about all I wanted to say about that. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to open it up to Q&A, either about what we were just talking about, disassociation, the paradigm, forgiveness, the paradigm, of course, being deactivating implants, building wearables, and detoxing nanomachinery. That's always on the table. And if you wanted to talk about signals intelligence too, that's fine also. But let's try to keep it on those points. And I'm sorry I didn't mean to talk specifically about my life. It was just to make that point. As per usual for the new people, we're not trauma dumping here. We're solutions based. So go ahead, whoever wants to speak.
Amen. Yes. Vengeance is mine, said the Lord. Amen. Yes. These people, I was listening to an interview recently, and Brian Cochran was saying how the perps are in an even stronger mind control program, and they're not aware of it.
Yeah, the United States military is the biggest cult active, and that's not to shit on anybody that served. It is a cult. It's a death cult. It's the one
really
that's
sad. They're turning people into narcissists and sociopaths.
It's the central cult that runs Western society, the U.S. military, because it's not just
people. Quick question.
It's not just here. It's in Britain and Australia
And thank you for saying that. Thank you for saying that about the I forgot the term you used exactly, but just reminding us to not be in that kind of helpless mindset, you know what I mean? They want us to feel so helpless all the time, of course, to keep us from doing something, but there are solutions. Amen. Thank you.
Yeah, it's disassociation. And it's just, that disassociation, when we disconnect from reality, that's when that learned helplessness and that anger and that fear.
That's what it was. Learned, And then also, thank you for what you said about forgiveness, because forgiveness is more for yourself, really. You know, I think it's like 80% for yourself, 20% for the other person, you know, because one, it's the Christ-like thing to do, and two, when you hold on to that, you know, rage and anger and hate and resentfulness, you're really harming yourself more, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
everybody
and
is going through their own. These people have sold their soul, and there's really no way out now for them unless they're going to be subject to the persecution themselves, and most of them are not going to choose that, you know. So they're in bondage by the devil, unfortunately. Their souls do need prayer.
When we forgive, it lifts us above that struggle. So not only do we get the not having the fear and the anger involved in that, you know, and this is not a one and done thing by any means. This is something that I have to renew in myself all the time, and everyone that does, you know, because I'm always being attacked 24/7, as is a lot of you being attacked 24/7, all day and all night for years. It's been years and years and years. So it's just constantly, God, please give me the patience, please give me forgiveness. But what I'm doing is I'm stopping myself from engaging here at this low level, and I'm lifting myself above so I can get the answers that we need, all of us, not just targets, to get out of this situation. And unfortunately, it's going to fall on us to do it. The people being attacked, the people being human trafficked are going to be the ones that have to figure this out. The people that are doing it will not. Go ahead. Okay, we didn't catch that.
Did you ever notice how miserable they always look? Mine they're always like they're dragging their feet, their heads are down. They always look so miserable. They don't look happy at all.
Yeah. No, unless they're psychopaths. The psychopaths, sociopaths, you can tell they get genuine pleasure, you know, because they're possessed.
Can I ask a question about that?
It's a hard path to walk. Go ahead.
Well, it's obvious why we are disassociating, but why are they disassociating? Because they don't have traumas like us, right? So why are they like us? I don't see them like us.
That's a great question. Here in the United States, the average person that's a human trafficker is former U.S. military. Wherever you are, the average person doing this to you is former military or police. It's those people are the ones that are broken the most. They're broken in, right? They literally were and are treated like dogs, attack dogs, more or less. And I don't know particularly where you are. I don't want to tell everyone where you are, who's doing what, because I've never been there. But I would imagine they're NATO forces, that they were trained by the U.S. military or the British military, and they had served in the same areas, in Iraq, Afghanistan. Go ahead.
Tell you, I have a relationship with a man who is in the military and served in Afghanistan, and after he come back, he was completely different. So I guess that's something, maybe something has to do with all this. Yeah.
And then I know. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, after he come back, everything was different. He was different, and my whole life was different, and things changed after that. After he went to Afghanistan.
Yeah, and then also I know in your area that they take immigrants that are from these war zones. Here they do the same. Yeah, and they train them to be in these human trafficking gangs. And then they make their citizenship or their status of being able to live there dependent upon their working in these human trafficking gangs. They do the same exact thing here.
Do you think they do this for the money then? They earn money from this?
The immigrants, they do it for the money, but they also do it for the legal protection. Because they will literally, like here, what they do is they'll have like an FBI guy show up at an illegal immigrant's house, or if that's to say someone that's not born here. And hold on a second. Somebody's making noise. And once they say basically like, so this, I've literally seen this happen. The FBI guy, young guy too, it's like 20 something, shows up, 28, something like that, shows up at this family's house and goes, hey, I see that there's this guy living close to you. He is he's on our watch list. He's some sort of terrorist potentially. You should be part of our neighborhood watch program to keep him from doing anything, from building a bomb or something bullshit like that, burning down a house. They say that's the type of lies they'll say. And the people will go, well, I don't know. I've never heard about this. I don't know anything about it. Never seen any problem with this guy. And they'll go, oh, by the way, are you documented? Were you born in the United States? Can I see your identification? And they'll go, because they're not, right? Or their cousin or their mom or whoever isn't. And they'll go, okay, well, we can actually, there are programs that we can keep you in if you become a citizen informant. And don't worry, this guy's a pedophile, this guy's a terrorist, whatever. But if you do these things, it's not nothing really, it's really not much. You're going to push a button on your car alarm. You're going to slam your doors. Excuse me, can you mute yourself? You're going to slam your car doors. You're going to, do all these little things. It doesn't matter, and if you do this, then your citizen status will not be revoked. I've seen them do both of those approaches. That's not me guessing. I literally saw them do that. Right here in my environment. And then those same immigrant families, where half of them were born here and the other half weren't, they'll look at me like it's my fault that this all happened to them, because they're in that disassociated state, right? They're disassociating from the reality of the situation that they're in, right? Because if they would have turned these people down and applied it the same day, the same week for their naturalization, they'd probably be A-okay. They'd be fine. They might take a little bit of heat down the road for not being part of the citizen informant gang, and they might have to move, but they wouldn't be on the chopping block like they are now. And literally at any point, now the FBI can send ICE on them and send half the family to Mexico who hasn't been there in 15, 20 years. It's awful.
Well, I wanted
yes,
to
the same happens here also. Yes, so
Yeah, I noticed in Europe they love using those Syrians for that exact reason.
Yes, true. They do that, and I know some people here also. I believe they are involved, and when I look at them and they look at me, I feel so sorry for them. I feel, yeah, I don't know. I should hate them, but I don't. I feel sorry. Yeah.
That's beautiful.
I can understand why they do this to stay here with their family, because, like you said, half of them are born here, so they can stay here, and the other half has to go back. And yeah, I can understand why they do this, but yeah, I wish I could hate them. Yeah.
That mindset is probably why you're here talking right now. You know, because you broke that disassociation in yourself, and you looked at the situation for what it was, and on some level, and saw the humanity. You know, that we were all being hurt. It's a beautiful thing, and that's why a lot of us are here right now, is because we've all done this individually.
You're very happy. You have compassion in your heart, and you haven't lost that human trait, you know.
Mm-hmm.
God is going to deal with them eventually, whether we hate them or not.
Well, we all get our comeuppance, right? It's not for us to try to dispense them, else we get in the way of a force much bigger than us. Okay, hey, there was a man. I've heard your voice before. Go ahead and ask your question or a comment.
Yeah, this is I talked to you before, but I wanted to if you have any methods or know anything other than the stun gun to deactivate nanotech in your body, and also to like stop them manipulating how like your mood is, because they keep on manipulating my mood. And that's not how I feel, especially when they make me feel like, you know.
That's all going to be indicative of the amount of heavy metals and nanotech you have in you. So have you used the stun gun yet?
Yeah, I used it, and I didn't really notice too much yet.
How did you cover your whole body?
I did my back of my head, my lower leg, and the left side of my stomach or chest, and then my right leg, and right arm, the left arm too.
Did you do it 1 second at a time? Like 1 second, move, 1 second, move, 1 second, move?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, keep using the stun gun. Maybe send me a picture so I can verify that it's working correctly. Just to make, because you should have noticed something. And then there is a lot of things you can do. The next thing, sorry, can you hear that? It's my dog. He's barking. Okay, good. You can't. The next thing you can do is build wearables. But you want to keep using that stun gun because you should have noticed an effect. The wearables, you can use plastic wrap. That's a dielectric accumulator or electrostatic accumulator. Or what's the other word? An insulator. That's what an insulator is. Sorry, that's too complicated. Plastic wrap, metal tape, which is aluminum foil with a sticky side, and copper wire. And if you mix those three things in really any given order, you layer them around your body and kind of mess with that, you'll start feeling these charges move through your body. Did you feel the charges at all move through your body after using the stun gun?
I definitely felt like some kind of like some feeling, but the thing is like it's really getting to the point where like my head, like I feel like my head is getting messed with a lot.
Can I make a suggestion?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because they do the same thing with me with the emotions, and when I start flashing my face with it, with the stun gun, it's in my face. After I deactivate it in my face, like my cheeks and my lips and my jaw. After I do that, the emotions also stopped. So maybe you can try to do your face. your nose, your eyes, your cheeks.
Yeah,
Okay, did you?
I
Yeah.
did have to buy a new battery for the battery broke. Or I didn't know it was like a battery that like they gave you, but then for some reason they're not like brand new.
It was probably the stun gun switch. Was it a push button?
It's like a one like you switch it on and off.
Does it have a red toggle switch? It's like a toggle switch, or is it a push button to turn it on?
It's like a toggle. Oh wait, let me look at it right now just to like clarify. I think it's like just the one with the on and off button.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take a look. Right. Oh yeah, it's like with the red button.
Okay, that is the type that you want. Get another type like that. Do you think maybe they got access to it during a break-in or something when you weren't home?
I don't think my house was ever broken into. I mean,
Well,
this is like my parents' house, but like I don't think they was ever broken into.
Well, I can, if there was an opportunity when no one was home, it got broken into. And if they broke into it, they would break into every target's home. You might have seen this on the Onionhead Andrew Rumble page, but I've literally got footage of them wearing invisibility cloaks. So it's 100% real. They're always doing it. They do it to every target. If they can, they will.
I
So just
seen
keep
like
that.
the hologram of like cloak thing moving through the house. But it's just a hologram, like they don't have technology to make them so like they're lightweight and they don't weigh anything and they could travel through like buildings with the cloaks. I don't think so.
But no, definitely not. I'm talking about just guys wearing cloaks. I'm not talking about traveling through walls.
No, I never seen that.
Well, okay, do yourself a favor and go on Onionhead Andrew Rumble, and you can or YouTube, and you can look up. You can see the footage yourself. It came from another target, who I'm in contact with, another survivor. He's up in Michigan.
I've always been taking supplements and taking stuff for the metal detox, even before everything got worse.
Uh-huh.
But it seems like I don't know what it is.
We lost you.
It seems like it's getting worse, which I didn't think it could happen. And I have this feeling, like before this, you kind of felt like you were balanced, or like you had like your energies had this kind of balance you would hold on to or whatever. And then like I noticed with me, it's like I can't even find that balance anymore. And like nighttime feels like day, or they could do that daytime feels like a night thing. And
yeah, that's no. I know exactly what you're saying. I spent years of my life in that state. It's all indicative of the amount of this particulate in you. All right, so if you're using the stun gun and you're not getting any effect from it, it's because you've got all this stuff inside your body. All right,
and that like I seen it one of the summers. I don't know if it was 2023 or 2021, but it was like literally, dude, it was like a pyramid of nanotech or something outside. I was like, what the hell is this? And it was like floating dust, but like almost in like a pyramid.
No, that's exactly right. That dust is heavy metal and nanotech. It's the same stuff that's in the chemtrails or similar stuff, and they're always releasing that around you. So when your implants are working, what happens is you breathe it and it automatically gets pulled to the implants that are being triggered. When the implants aren't working, they need to use more directed energy weapons to pull it to the areas that they want it to be in, which they'll figure out eventually, right? But getting rid of those implants, that's why it's the first step, why I put it as the first step. Because without the implants there, it's no longer an automated process. With the implants there, it's an automated process. The second thing, using the wearables, you're basically building resonant circuits on you that you can wear and utilize. All right, now that's not a foolproof thing. There will be times where when you start doing this, wearing plastic wrap, it's literally just plastic like saran wrap, aluminum foil or metal tape, that's the same thing really. Metal tape's just got the sticky side, and copper. When you wear those three things in combination, or insulative, conductive, and copper, then you can start dissipating the directed energy weapons coming into you. Okay?
Okay. And then,
yep.
I wanted
but I don't think hold on. I don't think that's your problem though. I mean, yeah, you should be doing it. If you're not doing it, it definitely is a problem. But I think what you've got going on is the third thing. I think you've got so much nano particulate and heavy metals in you. I can hear it in your voice. It reminds me of when I was experiencing break-ins every night. They were coming in through a basement side door and poisoning the refrigerator I was using. So I was literally, everything I was eating for like 6 months had this crap in it. They would do it the same time every night, 3 a.m. And I was out of my mind trying to figure it out. I was like, there's no way they could be getting this food. And yet all this food, every time I'd consume it, I'd have symptoms. But I'd be in and out of disassociation, so I just disassociate. I go back to listening to a podcast and I just lay there. And anyways, long story short, they were breaking in. They were using cloaks. They were getting all my food. When I stopped putting my food in that refrigerator and I reinforced that door, my whole life instantly got better. And right when it got better, they doubled down on the aerosols. Then they started pouring in the aerosols from outside. It like all happened in the same month and a half. Anyways, that's what I think. That's why I think that's your problem.
I've done all like at least to try to detox now, and it's like it's a new kind of thing or new tech or whatever, or something they're using. But I wanted to find a way to disconnect from it,
Yeah. Okay. So, hey, just to test that theory that I just expounded upon, is stop eating. Go ahead and fast. And I know that's hard to do because it's like, what joy do we have in life besides food occasionally? But seriously, try to fast. Go a day, go 2 days without eating and see what happens, just as a comparative tool, along with the other stuff we talked about, buying another stun gun and building those wearables.
And it's like I really get really spacey. I really forgot what I was about to tell you like a minute ago. I just had to remind myself. Is that like I really feel like it's always making me feel like I'm an autopilot, and like it's controlling me to not to think. I mean, like it feels like when I really like talk to people that much or like as much as I used to, but like when I go on social media or when I say some things, I feel like it's like not even me thinking it or like what I typed is not me,
Yeah, that's what I was talking about earlier. I don't know when you came in, but you're talking about disassociating. That's what you're doing. Thank you for commenting. That was exactly what I was talking about.
They're really burning me out, like with the energy, and then like the insomnia, and then like not like making me feel worried about like the future and like stuff and trying to get everything together. And I feel like I'm getting hit so bad, like it's. I don't want to.
Are you shielding it already?
Well, that's what we were just talking about. But you got my email. Go ahead and do what we talked about if you want. But building the wearable and fasting and using the stun gun. And let me know if at that point you're not feeling better. But you could be really far along this next time we talk if you come back this next week. I'm not just saying that either. Because I honestly, I think this is happening mostly through the food you're eating. But that being said, I could be wrong. And if I'm wrong, then the stun gun and the wearable will clean it up either way. Does that make sense?
Hey, I don't know anything about the stun gun. What are you talking about?
Oh, I'll get to it in a second. But hold on,
Okay,
I wanted to finish with this guy, and then we'll talk.
All right.
Did you hear me, buddy? Friend? Okay, we lost him for now.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead, Florida.
No, so I was asking about, you talked about stun gun. I don't know, is this a shielding thing? I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay, so the stun gun is the information that we talk about every week. It involves the paradigm of how to overcome directed energy weapons. The first step in the paradigm that I'm presenting, this is Onionhead Andrew, by the way. I've got a YouTube channel and a Rumble channel that sources a lot of this information, if not all of it. The first phase of the paradigm is building a stun gun EMP device. So you take a stun gun, a coil of wire, and some glue pretty much, and a backing stick, and you make a stun gun into an EMP, a very small EMP device. Now, when you use that EMP device over your body, it deactivates implants, all right? In my experience, every target has implants in them. They all have them.
I'm sorry. Do you have a video on this?
Yes, it's on Onionhead Andrew, Rumble, or YouTube, and you'll see it.
I just rejoined.
Okay, thank you.
I missed what you said.
Okay, hold on. I'll finish with you real quick. I was saying is that if you do those three things, getting the stun gun going again and continuously using that until you feel something from it. You should have felt something from it. And then, but I think you've got so much crap in you, so much bad particulate, heavy metal, nanotech particulate in you is why I didn't give you better results. But the second thing, building the wearables, which is as easy as getting plastic wrap, copper wire, and metal tape, and layering that, right? So you do those two things alone. That should help a lot. But the third thing that I think will send you over right into this better understanding of what's going on in your body and your environment is if you fast. If you go a day or two without eating as you're doing all these other things. And not only that, but not eating right now will give you the energy to propel you forward. All right? It really will. There's a crazy thing. When you stop eating, what happens is your body compresses upon the space that would normally hold food. And once it does that, it wrings your intestines of all the built up so-called forever chemicals and all that type of thing. And after your intestines completely compress, that compression moves to different areas of your body, more or less cleaning it out. It squeezes out the intracellular water, wastewater. It's called bulk water. But basically the intracellular and extracellular water is what contains the heavy metals that will make for acidic conditions in which the nanotech will proliferate. So basically what we just did... Hold on one second. What we've just said is that, one, you use that stun gun to make sure you clean up the implants. Two, you start messing around with wearables so that you can shield yourself better against not shield, you can dissipate directed energy weapon strikes. And three, you use this detox however you want, but fasting is the most effective way. For length of time fasting, any time is good for your first time, but ideally you'd be hitting the 2, 3, 4 day mark. especially if you're early in to the learning this information. The directed energy weapons are not effective. They still work, but they are not effective in accessing your inner environment without heavy metal, nanotech, and implants. They just aren't. Did you catch all that, Sam?
Yeah, I did. And then, like, if you ever found any new programs or anything, like, that like, helps, I don't know, like, it's just, I'm getting to the point where I really feel like my head, like, I'm losing my head, and I'm trying to, like, keep it together.
Hey, I understand. There are so many things that will help on top of that. But what I just told you is foundational.
There's something that I do, Andrew. Maybe it'll help this gentleman. This is Tony Medina calling from Arizona. And I don't know if you've ever heard of ear candling, but I get dizzy. Sometimes I get dizzy where I think it's affecting my, you know how I forgot vestibular. So sometimes I get dizzy. So I get my ears candled. And after that, it seems like I walk pretty straight and I'm not bumping into the wall and things. And it seems pretty therapeutic for me.
Okay, I appreciate your contribution. And that's exactly what I was talking about, though. All of that stuff, there are so many things like that you can do after you do this basic thing that we're talking about. Now, not to put you on the spot, but I'm going to, okay? So just jump off if you don't want to answer these questions. But have you bought and used a stun gun EMP?
No, I haven't followed the paradigm yet. But I'm doing other things. I'm just listening into your call.
Okay, well, so that's what we're doing here. All right? I have figured out by the grace of God has given me the tools, and I am telling you about the tools now. Okay? Using that stun gun, and I don't mean to call you out too harshly on this, but using that stun gun will deactivate implants. There is no other way to deactivate implants besides using an EMP device, as far as I know. You could get them.
You're right. You're exactly right.
Okay. So I'm going to say this, and again, this is not to put you down at all. All right. We've talked before. I've seen you probably 4 or 5 times, maybe more.
Yeah.
What's stopping you?
What's stopping me? It just seems a little bit complicated for me.
Okay, you got my email though, right?
Right.
And you live in an area you could go out and buy a stun gun?
Oh, sure. I have one in my possession.
Okay, so when you want to start down this path, right? Mm-hmm. You have all the tools you need to start. It's not beyond your capability. None of what we're talking about, none of it is. This is all. There will be a point if you continue moving down the paradigm where you're going to reach complexity. And when you do, I'll be there for you. And not only that, but there are other people here that will be there for you. But this goes, and I'm not trying to call you out particularly, but this is exactly what I was saying about disassociating, right? You've got information in front of you that 10 years ago, I would have literally, I did, and it's not just about me, there's many people here that are in the same boat, spent my life savings on trying to a cure, right? Trying to gather this information. And I did. Many of us did, right? And years later, through everyone's work, and it's not just me, all of this work I've compiled off other people. This is the answer as of right now. And until there are other people working on other solutions, but they're missing the nanotech part of it, the heavy metal nanotech part of it. And once you understand the heavy metal nanotech part of it, that the heavy metal nanomaterial is acting as an energy sink, like a drain, like it's like a spot on your body in which directed energy weapons can hit and it can pour into the internal part of your body, then you won't understand really how to move forward. And that's what we're doing here is we're understanding that and the method and practices that anyone can do to overcome it. The ear, I forget what it's called, with the wax in your ear that you were just talking about.
Yeah, yes. Cerumen, right?
That sounds like
it just seems like after that treatment, it just seems like I'm not off of balance, and I thought that would help. I just thought that would be a little bit of a help for this gentleman, and it helps me quite a bit.
That's great because you found a way. Hold on, sir. You found a way to detox from your ear into that part of the brain that interacts with the ear, that's fantastic. That's a great find, which is the third part of the paradigm. Detoxing heavy metals and nanomachinery. And good job for finding that. When you do the other parts of this, you're going to really be sailing. But you got to do all of it if you want it to succeed. Now, hey, sir, Florida, just wait one more moment. Sandy, are you still here?
Yes, I'm here.
Can you talk really quickly so they can hear from another perspective of what it feels like to be moving along and feel the directed energy weapons sinking into those clumps and then breaking the clumps apart?
Well, so when I first started doing the zapper, which is the stun gun, I kind of leave it there long periods, more than 1 second, so I can feel the nanotech in me or the particulate, because it feels like bugs are moving through your body. So you kind of want to look for that feeling. And once you start feeling that, you can concentrate on that area. And that's how I found it. Well, then I started, I was clean. I mean, I wasn't getting hit. That worked for me for probably 2 weeks. And then all of a sudden, I just started getting bombarded with the EMFs or whatever kind of waves they're hitting me with. But I started doing the wearables. I just said, fuck it, something's got to work, I mean, I became so much in pain that I was willing to try anything. And I got the Romex cables, and I started wrapping them around my leg, and that worked for a little while. Then I started concentrating on what I was feeling, like what he's talking about, different parts of your body. And then I would wrap that certain part of my body, and then it just became better and better. And I said, okay, this is working. And then they'll change it up. So you've got to feel your body. You've got to sit long enough to feel what you're feeling. And okay, it's hitting, like right now, I don't have any wearables on, and I can feel my head swimming. So I could just put on my wearables, and that swimming feeling would go away.
Thank you, Sandy. Thank you. I appreciate that. I just heard you about your head swimming. I know exactly what you're talking about. And then, hey, go ahead.
I just want to ask Sandy a question. Sandy, I don't feel bugs. I don't feel bugs running when I'm using the EMP. Am I doing something wrong?
In my opinion, that's a great thing, because I think that now you're just going to get hit with the aerosols.
Well, the bugs was a metaphor. That bug she's feeling is actually nerve damage.
Oh.
That's your nervous system being interacted with. It is what it is.
Ask a question. Is it the deactivating implants with stun gun? Is it also breaking up the white fiber clots?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's why Sandy was holding the stun gun over an area longer. She was breaking up those they're called polymers. But yes, the stun gun breaks up polymers. And then, hey, real quick, Expert One, are you here? Can you talk about that? She's got the high voltage EMP device, which is the stun gun on steroids, and she's using it. Oh, great! And it's a good tool to have. I hardly use it because I got a family, so is home. But Expert One, could you talk about that if you want to? If not, don't worry about it.
Okay. What do you want me to say?
Oh, just about you breaking up the heavy metals and nanomaterials using the EMP device.
Yeah, yeah. So it's working pretty good for me. So what I normally do, I use the stun gun first, and then I use the high voltage EMP, and then I get on the vibrating machine, and it's very effective. So sometimes I hear like some of the guests here, they talk about they're having problems with their heads, and so I was in really bad shape before this. So because I had to cancel my doctor's appointment because I couldn't do anything. My husband actually was doing everything for me. That's how sick I was. And so after I started using both EMP and I was maybe 80% better. But once I got on the vibrating machine, that's what really helped the situation of my head, because my thoughts were distorted. I couldn't think very clearly. It's just really amazing what it does for me. So what I do when I get on the vibrating machine, I so like on the right to left, and so I just concentrate, like lean my head to the right and then to the left, either way. And so you're gonna feel a lot of pain when you're doing it, but that's where the inflammation is. But it's gonna be such a big difference, because literally I think that's what's taking the nano out of my brain. And so I had great improvement after that. It's just amazing. So
thank you. Yeah. No, thank you for. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Just let me explain that, because for everyone that didn't understand. Expert one is using a vibration plate. You can get them on Amazon or just about anywhere, really. It's that they vibrate two directions, like a seesaw, and a corkscrew, I believe, is the average machine. And so what she's doing is she's using the EMP device, the high voltage EMP, which is basically a stun gun but more powerful. And it's pulsing the nanotech and heavy metals, and it's breaking them up. And then she's getting on that vibration plate in different positions, holding her head in different ways, like she was saying, and it's causing it all to drain. It's causing all that heavy metal, nanomachinery clumps to drain. And when it drains, no longer can the directed energy weapons interact with it. Go ahead, expert.
Yeah. And so one part of my head, I think it was the left side, and I think you described it too. There was a section of my head, they have been attacking that area for years. And so sometimes you feel like a mini bulldozer moving under my skull. And so that's gone. And so that is really great improvement for me. And also, I'm not exactly where I want to be, but I'm going to get there, because I'm going to get where you are. But that's because I have a big setback, and that is because they poisoned my living space. So it's really a great challenge for me.
Did
trying
you?
to get out.
Yeah, they got the herbicide and pesticide. They sprayed her during a break-in at her house. Did you end up getting that fogger?
I did. I finally got the fogger, and I got I have the fogger.
Does it help?
No, I haven't set it up yet. Everything is really slow. The poison slowed me up. But actually, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna fog the entire room. Where I'm gonna the entire living space. So I'm gonna have to be out for a while, but I'm gonna do the concentrated one, where you have to be outside. You cannot stay in. You have to be at like 12 to 24 hours.
Why don't you fog it with non-toxic materials?
But it's not toxic. It's just that at a higher dose you have to stay out. But I can use it at a lower dose. Using the fogger, I figured that the measurement that I need to have, I think it's like 20 grams for each gallon of water. So that you can use that for cleaning. So I figured that's a safe dose to use, and you can be inside. So that's really what I'm gonna do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me know how that goes. I'm very curious about that. I'm dealing with the aerosols real bad here right now too. But okay, so that was for everybody. Go ahead.
Can you share a link, Expert One, for what you bought? Because they're doing the ear assaults on me hard, and I get the same thing where it jiggles my brain and I can't think straight.
Oh, so
Well, hey,
the fogger, yeah, I get the fogger on Amazon, but you have the fogger, but you have the other chemical to use in there. So I'm gonna use chlorine dioxide.
yeah, that's been the conversation. But Faye, we don't know if it works yet. We're still experimenting.
Yeah, so I don't know. I'm gonna work with it. Yeah. So.
I can say
Okay.
I got
Could
on
I
my
email
shaker and that's helping.
what you said did work?
No, I haven't used it yet. I will be using it this week.
You said you were using something like a vibrating plate or something that was helping.
Oh yeah, yeah. So that's different. Okay, yeah. So that's what I use, and so you can also use a TENS machine, a TENS unit, and that's what I started. The TENS unit really helps because sometimes I have to use the TENS unit and I use it on my head, so I put it on my neck, and you just do it at a very low rate, and it's really gonna just. Sometimes you'll feel like a heavy pull in your head, but I'm telling you, it makes a big difference.
You want to be careful with those TENS units. But can you, for expert, for Faye's sake, can you post a vibration plate machine, or I can do it too. They're just called vibration plate machines, Faye. But she's using it in conjunction with the high voltage EMP device. That's what's giving her so much relief, because she's doing step 1 and step 3 really, really well.
Yeah.
And then if you combine that with the wearables, that's next level. But she's doing. Yeah. Go ahead.
Can I ask you a couple follow-up questions on that? So I did try your EMP thing, and I think it was working, but the time that I got, it crapped out after a day or two both times. Do you have a recommended one that you use?
Yeah, the main thing is that it's got a red, or it doesn't have to be red, usually is a toggle switch. So like a toggle, like that, like the switch, I don't know if you can see me, but the toggle goes, it's got like it's a toggle. But the ones that fail are the push button ones. So there's only the thing about these stun guns is there's only 3 that are made in the same factories in China. It's the push button style, or the toggle style, or a completely different style that's more expensive that they sell mostly in Europe. Never get the push button ones. Always get the toggle ones.
Do you have a brand that you like?
Not particularly, because any of the toggle ones I've used have been okay.
And then do you have videos on how to build the wearables?
If you go back, there is a few, but if you go back to the last class, Faye, are you looking right now? I believe Sandy is showing. I'm not sure who that is. Somebody is showing right. Yeah, it's Sandy. She's showing the stun gun that works effectively. Yeah, can you see that?
Oh, it's a police issue. Oh, that's got to be a good.
Oh, and that's just the brand, yeah. But hey, Sandy, show the switch one more time, please. There's the switch. That's a nice toggle right there. Yep, nice solid.
Is that copper on the back there, or what is that?
Yeah.
It's my menagerie.
Yeah, she twisted copper and made a coil out of twisted copper. That's going to help break up the nanotech part of it, but it's not going to project as strong as a field for the implant part of it. So you want to keep it, but either way, you'll be fine if you. And then Sandy's got another one that's more basic.
I don't know what I did wrong. I'm pretty sure I wrapped the coils like the one they just showed at the end. But
I think, Sam, you've got those other issues going on like we talked about.
I zapped, but I think I did something wrong because I got zapped on.
Hey, Andrew. Andrew.
Okay, hold on. We're getting all out of order here. Let's let Faye finish, and then the guy who was just saying Andrew can talk.
Well, can I just get your email, and maybe I could message you with follow-up questions? Because I'm going to try to build everything starting tonight.
Okay, great. That sounds great. It's ACOLE968 9@hotmail.com. And I'm posting that right now in the chat for everyone else.
Okay. I'm gonna rebuild the stun gun tonight because I just went and got another stun gun emergency, and I'm gonna try to build some of those wearables, and I'll follow up with you.
Okay, yeah, and then we'll definitely. If you follow up with me, I'll have resources ready for you.
Hey, Andrew.
Thank you so much.
Yep, go ahead, sir. You're welcome.
Yes, Andrew. I'm at Home Depot right now, and I'm getting the wire to make the coil. Is it okay if I get the thermostat 2-conductor wire that has the red and the white wires within the insulation?
Okay,
18 gauge.
Yeah, but they should have. Go to the actually by the automotive where they keep the butt connectors. Go to the automotive section. They'll have 18 gauge right there, the single strand. It's braided wire.
He said that in automotive they have 18 gauge single strand.
Yeah, that's good. That's what you want.
No. I'm asking, or I'm telling this guy from Home Depot.
Oh, okay.
Is that right? Y'all have that?
We don't have here, not 18 gauge.
In the automotive, you don't have that? Okay.
We don't have a big one.
Okay. Well, hey, over there. There's also speaker wire.
Speaker wire. Do you have speaker wire?
That's stranded as well.
That's stranded as well.
That's fine. You can split it. That's the right gauge.
Okay. So wait, why would I want to split it? So I'm gonna have to just take all the insulation off and then that makes no sense.
No. Well, all you do is you make a little cut at the end, and you can split the two wires apart, and it doesn't take the insulation off. And then you'll just, because you don't want two wires necessarily. It'd be better to have one wire coiled more times than two wires coiled less for focusing the EMP field.
Okay. Do you have like one that where you can separate it? You do? 18 gauge?
Yeah, you can separate.
Well, but this is how would you separate that? This is one solid insulation. Like you would have to go. Yeah, Andrew, the thermostat wire. I'm buying.
Okay,
right now, literally, I'm buying. It's got one insulation, and then within that one insulative layer, it has two wires. It has a red and a white. I was hoping to just get one that are also insulated. So the red and the white are insulated, obviously, because that's the colors are the insulation.
Yeah. What gauge is what gauge are the wires?
What gauge are the wires in there? They're both 18?
What is it that you're making?
That sounds fine.
Cool. So that's 18. Okay, so this is
that sounds fine. That sounds fine.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, sorry for complicating you there.
Yeah, but I still don't know why, I would need to it doesn't make sense for me to separate this, or I guess it does. You're saying just take one of the wires from within here.
Yep, exactly.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do.
Okay,
Is there
now.
anything else that I need to buy at Home Depot?
Okay, that's great. So, do you have a little time, or is what guy still waiting on you?
Well, I mean, do I need the gentleman's assistance anymore, or is it just
no?
Can, yeah, okay.
We can talk right now.
Okay, good. So this is all I need. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Yeah.
So basically, this is what you got. This is a smaller gauge wire, but you're just going to take one of those and then you'll wrap it. It'll be a coil.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna take one of these wires off, strip it away.
You're going to take the outer one.
Yeah.
And to do that, there's going to be there's usually a little tool that they use.
A wire stripper, or
Okay, hey, we got 45 people that are listening to your conversation. Can we come back to you?
Yeah. I'm sorry. Hey, man, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, sorry. I thought you were. Anyway, go ahead, Andrew. Sorry
okay, so it's okay. It's just I was thinking for the other people. Now, the next thing you want to get if you're there is you want to get metal tape. You can get metal tape near the ducting aisle. It will be in there. There's a few different types of metal tape you can get. There's a thicker or a wider one that costs about $13 a roll. That's probably the one you should get. because you can get the most out of your money with that. Okay, so metal tape. Then the next thing and the last thing, it's actually at the wire section, so I should have told you this first. But you want about 100 feet of Romex, either 14-2 or 12-2, whatever you have the money for. Now, you're gonna use these for wearables, all right? So just having that wire is very nice. If you can have the Romex and not be worried about it being sabotaged or whatnot, buy it, because you can use it for lots of things as far as the wearables go. Okay. All right, so the metal tape and then the 14-2 or 12-2 Romex, 100 feet of it. All right.
So I bought some shielding fabric, and it came with some tape that looks metallic. Also came with some neodymium magnets, and that tape would you say that's similar tape, or should I go ahead and get this metal tape?
Go ahead and get the metal tape because you're going to use it for a lot of different things. It's a conductive layer. Think of it like that.
Okay.
Okay. So you get the metal tape, you'll get the extra Romex wire, which is just housing wire, right? And because it's so easy to work with and it's the cheapest wire. And then when you do the stun gun and then you do the wearable stuff, you'll be moving through the first step and the second step of the paradigm. The third step being detoxing will come to you later as you move through this. I'm sure you're probably already detoxing a little bit, but that's a great start.
I just actually got into the stuff just a few minutes ago. But no, I've been detoxing in multiple ways, but I still haven't fasted for 3 days, and I haven't dry fasted either. I plan on doing that. I had another question though, and I'm a little unclear. My mind's a little hazy right now due to the attacks. So for the stun gun, do I need to just get a piece of cardboard, and do I need an actual glue gun, or can I just use some regular tape, Scotch tape?
You could use regular tape. I would get duct tape though, because you're at Home Depot.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely get some duct tape. That's another useful thing you can use over and over.
Then just wrap the coil, and then whenever I'm connecting it to the left probe, I'm just wrapping it around, and then I want to just basically sand off how much should I sand off of the end of the coil that's going to create the spark gap on the right probe?
About a 1/4 inch of wire or so will be enough wire exposed to make the spark gap.
1/4 inch of wire. Okay, and then an 1/8 inch away, right, from the probe.
Exactly.
Okay.
Okay, hey, AJ, you're in a great position right now. You're doing everything, but you just check this out for a second, okay? Try slowing down a little bit right now on purpose. All right, just slow down a little bit, and keep your eyes open around you. What's going on around you? All right. There are usually, when a target goes to a place like Home Depot, human traffickers follow them and start releasing aerosols around them. Okay? So just keep that in your mind as you're moving about, and you might be able to see one in real time. Okay?
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Hi, Andrew, can I ask a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I have some 8-gauge copper wire. Is that considered too thick?
That's going to be too thick for the stun gun, but it will be useful for the wearables.
Okay, and the size of a can, is that a good size to wrap the wire around, or does it have to be a little bigger?
For the stun gun, the size of the can is the perfect size for a coil, for your coil. And you want to do about 6-7 loops at that diameter.
Okay, and does the copper wire have to touch? Does it have to be really neat? Because I'm not getting a neat wrap.
The copper wire needs to be insulated so that it doesn't short out. If it's not insulated, it will short out, and it won't make that coil work.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, and then as I was saying earlier, my email is in the chat, and Onionhead Andrew, Rumble, and YouTube has got some of these videos. So Between the two, my email and those videos, if you've got any further questions, please follow up.
Okay, Andrew. Oh, sorry.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Whoever wants to go first. I'm sorry I didn't catch it.
Really quick, Andrew. Hi, it's Krista.
Hi, Krista.
Hey, thank you, first of all, so much for talking about DID or dissociation. I really appreciate that. That was really good to hear. I don't think the entire audience heard that part of the call because now there are now 49 people on this call, and it was lower earlier. I just want to encourage everyone to listen to this entire call. But anyway, my quick question for you, Andrew, is have you done any videos on how to clean your home of all this garbage that's sprayed and whatnot?
Well, that's what we're trying to figure out right now, Krista. That's the big thing that we're working on, and that's what Expert One's gonna be reporting back to us hopefully soon.
Okay.
And I'm also working on it too. The only thing I know of for sure is that using degreasers works to clean up a lot of the aerosol crap, but degreasers are messy too. So.
Yeah. I just, one thing that happened to me is because Tech One, I think was her name, she mentioned chlorine dioxide, and I had a bottle of it, and the perps came in and emptied most of the contents of the bottle. So I just want to say, like, I've been using that as a spray, a diluted spray in the air when I suddenly get congested, and turn on fans, and it helps to some degree. So there's something about chlorine dioxide that they wanted to just eliminate out of my home. Just
okay. And yeah, no, I'm glad you said it, because from an electromagnetic standpoint, it makes perfect sense. The particulate that they're releasing near us, whether it was AJ a second ago at Home Depot, and I guarantee they're doing it. I guarantee I could hear it in his voice. Anytime you start getting confused like that in real time, 9 times out of 10, the weapon system that's primarily interacting with you is aerosols. All right, that's not to say directed energy weapons aren't part of that too, because they are. They're always tied together. But usually when you get acute symptoms like that, it's because aerosols are being released around you. Either way, oh, geez, I just lost my train of thought. Oh, the chlorine dioxide electromagnetically binds to magnetic particles. So it would make sense that they'd be hyper-focused on getting that out of your environment.
Yeah, thank you. It's not cheap. I mean, it's not super expensive, but it's not cheap. So I have to leave my home with that kind of stuff in a backpack or something.
Well, hey, that's a good point for everyone that hasn't heard me say this before. Get yourself a big camping, hiking backpack and line it with a 3mm thick polyurethane trash bag and put everything in it that you can't afford to lose during a break-in when you leave your house unattended. I did that for years. It's one of the best things you can do.
Thank you.
Your food, you're welcome. Your food being the key one, but not just food. Anything you can't afford to be of losing, like Krista was just saying. A stun gun, if you end up building the EMP stun gun, you're going to want to take that with you. That type of thing. Okay, go ahead, Expert.
Yeah, so I bought the polyurethane. It was very helpful. I have it in the bathroom, and it makes 100% difference because literally they were beating on my head so bad in the bathroom, and I feel like it's like 90% difference since I have it sealed off properly. So that's
really great. Oh, that's so good. I thank you for commenting and doing that. Let me explain to people. The polyurethane is the trash bag. That's what the polyurethane sheeting. If you buy it at Home Depot, right, you can buy it for $20 to like $200, depending on how big the sheeting is. But you can get it more cheaply, and it's easier to work with in trash bags. That's another thing you could get right now, AJ, if you're still listening, is polyurethane 3mm thick trash bags. They're for yard use. That blocks the aerosols. So Expert One was saying that she put the...
Andrew, I just don't see like how I could do that every single day. It's just not practical. I mean, I go to so many different public places. It makes no sense for me to. I mean, I can't live like.
Hold on. Yeah, no. I appreciate your comment, but what Expert One was saying is that she put it on her vents in her bathroom. So she got it because there was aerosols being released. She lives in an apartment. So it benefited her in that particular outcome. But yeah, you're right. You can't do it. You can't walk around with the trash bag over your head. That'd be crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it just makes no sense. But I definitely want to create the EMP though to just test it out, see if it'll give me any relief. And
well,
then continue, because I feel like you're anyway. I feel like this is a good thing for us to be doing. So
yeah, 100%. I'm glad you're out there doing it. I really appreciate people getting out there and putting the wheels to the road. Go ahead, expert.
Okay, and for the high voltage.
Thank you. I just wanted to see it.
It does more. It does more. It does a lot more than what you say, because I keep mine on most of the time, and it helps to block some of the high frequencies. So my living environment feels a whole lot better just keeping it on. So I'll just encourage everyone, if you can, just get it done, because it's really helpful.
That's a great addition. The high voltage EMP device will actually block some frequency weapons from interacting with you completely. Now, there's a man, his name is Armando. He sells a product. It's the same technology, but it's a little bit more effective because it covers a broader stream. It's called the Silent Night. Someone asked about that earlier, and we just missed it commenting on it. But the Silent Night is a spark gap technology that covers a wide range of frequencies trying to interact with you. Without deactivating implants, without wearables, it's not going to offer you a full relief, but it is a very good addition into what we're saying. That's into the paradigm. I don't sell them. Me and Armando don't talk for some reason. It's a whole thing there, but it's a Silent Night if you want to look it up for yourself. Or you could build one like Expert has, which is pretty effective too. And you can use the one Expert has because it's more powerful to break up the clumping in your body also.
Can someone send the link where you can purchase this Silent Night in the chat?
I believe it's just Google Targeted Source, I believe is the name of his website. Targeted Source Silent Night should pop up. And his name's Armando.
Andrew, could I ask you a quick question?
Yes, definitely. Go ahead.
Okay, Diane from Buffalo. Okay, when I sit down, it's like a pull, like a boom, 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 pull, and then my hand gets real tight, my hand. And then I know they're squeezing my heart, but they're squeezing the heart and hand at the same time. But when I sit down, only when I sit down, I feel this pressure, like something, da-doom, da-doom, da-doom. Like, what could they be using?
Well, that's what we've been talking about. There's heavy metals and nano machinery in your body. And when you sit down, the compression on your midsection allows that the blood vessels to carry the heavy metals into your brain to cause that tightness.
Oh my God. And I'm definitely surrounded by military, ex-military. They put me in an apartment where every other apartment is military. So I'm looking to move very soon, but I enjoyed your call. And like the other guy where you said you could hear it in his voice, whatever you heard in his voice, I'm having the same problem.
Yeah, I believe it. It's because you're breathing all those heavy metal aerosols, and then they're getting pulled to the implants in your body. All right, so you breathe the heavy metal aerosol, it gets pulled to the implants, and everyone has these implants. They're very, very, very small. Beyond, you can't even see them. Well, to pull them out of your body. There are bigger implants that people get during medical surgeries. Those do exist, but the average person is full of these tiny, tiny, tiny little implants. All right, yeah, you breathe. This is what they do to people. They get them full of this during break-ins, or they shoot it into them. That's a whole other thing. But either way.
Okay, thank you so much. Yes, they are definitely trying to give me a surgery. They keep saying, "Oh, something wrong with your heart." But before I moved into this apartment, there was nothing wrong with my heart. They keep saying, "Oh, we may have to go in and put a stent in there." So I said, "What do you mean?" "Oh, you got to get that. What is it called? A stress test, a nuclear stress test." And I said, "Oh my God, I did the walking stress test. They said, oh, that was abnormal. So have you ever heard of a nuclear stress test?
No, but I think I know the ends that they're after.
What my heart? They want my heart. That's what I'm thinking.
Well, they would want to implant a piece of technology in your heart to make it more targetable.
Oh, I see. Yes, because, see, they're trying to take the legs and see, so I keep walking, even with the cane, I keep going, and they're looking at that. I think they're after my life, really. But
They are.
so much.
No, they very much are, Diane. They very much are.
Yeah.
This is part of what we were talking about earlier. As survivors, we disassociate from that reality because we kind of have to, right, when we don't know enough about what's going on. But they are murderers and they are rapists, and they will do what exactly. They will do whatever they have to get money. All right, and most of the people involved in it are disassociated from the things that they're doing.
Wow, I came in late on the call, but I appreciate everything, and I'm gonna start the paradigm. I'm gonna start it.
Okay, great. You got my email?
Yes, I have your email. Cole, C-O-L-E-A, Cole, 96, is it 9689?
That's right.
I remember, by the way, so I'm keeping my memory, so that's all by memory.
Oh, great.
Okay.
And that's at Hotmail.
Oh, that's okay, Hotmail. Okay, thank you, Andrew, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Can I just jump in, Andrew, and just mention something that I found out about plants? Not only can they be, can they have their own protection, like I was talking to you about before, but they can also have a gyroscope in them, and this is how they know that the body's either sitting down or lying down because of the gyroscope. So, when you go to sleep, automatically it starts on you. It's because it knows that you're lying flat, and it can also measure the amount of light coming through your eyes, so it can tell that your eyes are shut.
Now, what is that? What is that? What is that, Kay? Is that implants?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Gyroscope. A gyroscope.
Yeah, it means that it can tell up from down. But there's also nanotech in us too that can relay some of this information. So.
Oh my God, they did a horrible job on me, but I didn't even say they cut my cervix, and I got some type of plastic up in my private area. They cut my cervix since I've been here. How could they cut my cervix, though? I'm wondering, how did they cut it?
During a break-in.
The break-in, but I'm sitting, I'm alive. I'm thinking a laser. They had to use a laser to cut my cervix.
It's called tissue engineering, remote tissue engineering. They can do that as well. Scar you, that sort of thing.
Yeah, 9 times out of 10, though, there's somebody on the ground operating something in near vicinity. Usually it's hardly ever is it remote like that.
Yes, that wasn't remote. They said you living under an army base or something. Someone said that online. They said that apartment is over an army base.
Diane, they use invisibility cloaks when they're creeping around people's properties during break-ins and stuff.
What is that? I wanted to ask you, what is, I heard you say that earlier. What is that?
Hey, if somebody could, that's on their computer. Oh, Diane's on her phone. But either way, I've got it listed on Onionhead Andrew on Rumble or YouTube. One of the videos shows footage. What it is it's camouflage that you can see through, so they look invisible. Yeah.
They look invisible. So you mean they come right in here with me?
Yeah, they do that to everybody. If you're not making sure that your doors are very secure, the best way to do that is take a piece of tape and put it over the locks. Okay, so that if they pick the lock at night, they still can't turn it. So the tape needs to be real secure. Use like duct tape.
Yeah, my son got a cologne smell on his coat, and he never had it 2 days before, and I didn't do it. I don't know how the cologne got on his coat. I don't know.
Yeah, they'll do that type of stuff during break-ins. They'll spray things, and they'll implant you. They'll needle you, whatever. It's really disgusting stuff. But a lot of the people that do that, they choose like men that are like shaped like horse jockeys. They'll be like small. Yeah, they'll be shorter, and they'll be like of a little bit stronger build, like a male gymnast.
Yes, and they'll come in here.
Yep.
Oh my God, that's so scary.
I know it's been going on since the 80s. They've been doing it since the 1980s.
You know what? I've been so tired lately and like mental confusion that I haven't been able to keep up with the readings or the calls. But I'm so glad I'm learning a lot, and it's pumping my adrenaline up to fight back.
Okay, great. Get on that Rumble and YouTube, because we've got all these calls are listed there, and then all the other stuff that I've been sourcing is there.
Okay, thank you, Andrew. Thank you so much. God bless all of you. Thank you.
God bless you.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, first one is I missed the name of that remote tissue. I missed the last part of that. There was a woman that said that they use it, remote tissue something.
Engineering.
Engineering, thank you. Second question I'd like to ask is, when I make this taser device, I don't have anybody to use it on my back. Do you have any suggestions?
Yes, make the stick longer so that it protrudes farther from the stun gun. Put the coil on the end of that protrusion of stick, and you will end up creating you can create a fairly large distance that way. You know, 1.5 feet, something like that. However long you make it, far enough away.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I knew a lady, I wish she came on the calls because she's been doing all the work for a long time too, but she doesn't. She put them on the end of back scratchers. She had 2 stun guns going pretty much all the time because she'd put them, it's a bit much for the average person, but either way, she put them on back scratchers. And so that she could reach wherever, whenever. Okay, guys, we're at 2 hours and 10 minutes. We'll be going for. Yep, go ahead.
Andrew? Oh, hi. Yes, thank you so much, as usual. I wanted to ask, I've noticed that if I have battery-operated devices to play recordings, whatever, they actually discharge the energy from the battery, and then it just quote dies, or it's temporarily off. Do you have any suggestions to protect that battery operating process? Because I don't think it goes away forever, but they disable it for some time when I'm trying to use it, literally when I just turn it on.
Yeah,
so there's so much magnetics, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's exactly. I think what happened is during a break-in, they geo-fenced it, and so that they can tell when you're using it or whatnot, for a variety of reasons, but also because it'll be moving around on their radar. And then they hit it basically with a magnetizing ray of energy, and that magnetizing ray will spin the battery up. So if you cover it, depending on what the object is, if you cover it with metal tape, that may help.
Okay,
cover
thanks.
where the
And then
with batteries. What is
tape.
it in particular?
Oh, just like a CD player, a little portable CD player.
Yeah, cover the battery area with metal tape. See if that helps.
Okay, thanks. And the second thing is after doing a fast, like the 3-day fast, I have to say I did finish one, thanks to you. And is there anything you recommend to do to kind of go back into regular living?
Yeah, actually, right at the end of your fast, if you eat charcoal, it'll really help bind all that stuff that you will eject once you start eating food again.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for
You're welcome.
everything.
And do you mind sharing your name so I can put a name to your voice? It's okay if you don't.
Meg.
Okay, great. Yeah, I remember.
Thank you. Yes, we have several times. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I talk to a lot of people, so it's always a chore keeping everybody in line. I should start taking notes, but it get kind of creepy, you know, if I had notes on everybody.
Hey, Andrew, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, this is Saki from Atlanta. I'm going to put something in the chat. Another TI gave me this, so I figured I should, maybe you might have already know of it. I'm going to put it in the chat. He said, this is an EMP generator. You cannot buy it on Amazon, but eBay sells it. And I have a link to it, and he says it's way more effective than a TENS unit. But let me put it in the chat first so you can.
Okay, yeah, I'll take a look at it. I appreciate your contribution, though, Kim. Okay,
I put the link in the chat, and what it is, it says, when you go to the link, it says US, it says 150 megahertz, 95 watt EMP generator, electromagnetic pulse generator transmitter. He says,
well, hey, Kay, take a look at this right now. This might be a solution for European EMP or UK EMP, sorry. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, this might be a solution for people where it's illegal.
Yeah, but the guy was saying that this is not probably they don't sell it because it can use for many illegal activities. That's why Amazon doesn't sell it. But eBay sells it. Maybe they ship it directly from China or something. So yeah. Amazon's not, but eBay you can buy it still. So that I'm not. Go ahead.
I think this would be less effective than the stun gun EMP, but still it could be something for our people that can't buy them legally. Stun guns, that is. I would still get the stun gun over this, is what I mean.
Okay. But even if you have this, how would you use it in the same fashion as you use a stun gun? Okay.
Yeah. And then if you wanted to take that idea to the next level beyond both of those, it would be that high voltage EMP device that I've got listed on the Rumble channel. It's like an hour-long video how to build one. Use a car ignition coil.
Okay.
Yeah, that's really powerful. That's what one of our regular callers is using it regularly, and she's getting great benefits from it. You've heard her speak before. It's expert. Experts are always talking about it. Was there anything else, Akeem? Good to hear from you, buddy.
Yeah, no, I'm just here. I joined late, but I would like to continue listening, and then I'll probably catch up the missing pieces on your when you post it.
Okay, sounds great. It's good to have you.
Would that EMP device deactivate like nanotech in your body too?
Yeah. Yeah. As does the stun gun too, though. That's what Sandy was showing us with her other build of the stun gun, is that she had twisted wires together and was getting a similar effect, breaking up the nano with that. Yeah, high voltage projected an electromagnetic pulse will deactivate implants and break apart heavy metal nanomachinery clumps.
Andrew, I remember you saying that when you start using the paradigm that you start getting targeted worse. What exactly do you mean?
I mean that this is people's jobs, and when you start fighting back in any way, but particularly the most powerful way is when you resolve your internal issues, they'll try to manage that by attacking you through one vector or another more so.
So, do you mean like they could make the directed energy more powerful?
It would be more so that yes, that's occasionally the case, but it'd be more so that they would try to find a way to get more heavy metals in them. And then if that didn't work, so basically poisoning your food, it just depends where you're susceptible. Every person's different.
Okay. And what is the insulated wire called that you used for the stun gun?
It's 18 to 22 gauge braided wire.
Braided wire. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. The one that you use for the wearables is called Romex. It's the housing wire. You don't actually need to you can use anything. You don't need to use it. It's just that the housing wire is very cheap and available everywhere, and it works great for the wearables.
Hey, Andrew, I've also been neti potting. I don't know. That seems to help what goes in my nose.
Yeah, I've heard that before too. So that's another category. That's another thing we can put in the detox category, is using neti pots to clean our sinuses. And that's what I mean, Gabriella. When like myself or Sandy that have been doing this now for.
This is aisle 11, section 100.
Hold on a second, Faye. We can hear you. I'm going to mute you. But what I was saying, when we'll get attacked more, is for me and Sandy, they're releasing aerosols all the time. Same with Expert, and it will be for many of you if you have an apartment like Diane, who was talking earlier that when she sat down, the pressure would increase in her head. She's getting more aerosols simply because they can, and she's in an apartment. So it's always like what they can do the easiest until you fight back, and then how they can get to you the easiest. And then after you basically you'll be countering them and countering them and countering them, and then they'll be trying to counter what you're doing, and then eventually they'll give up and they'll do something brand new, or they'll try to, and then you'll have to figure that out and break that down, and it's a process because it's human trafficking.
If they do the heavy metals, what can be done? Does the sun gun help? Like, will you still be able to use the sun gun with that?
Yes, the stun gun will help, but it's just closing up these loopholes, right? So, like, if your food's getting poisoned, like I think Sam's was, just based off. Okay, there you go. Perfect. You already know. The best thing to do is close that loophole, or close that hole, that gap in your defense is what I'm trying to say. Go get yourself a hiking bag, right? And then go get those 3 millimeter thick trash bags. And what you'll do is when you leave your house in the morning or night, whenever you're leaving your food behind, instead of leaving it behind, now you're going to put it in that hiking backpack in the trash bag. And then the trash bag will be in the hiking backpack. And then you'll carry that hiking backpack around with you. And even if they get access to the hiking backpack, you'll have it all wrapped and sealed in that trash bag, probably in another trash bag. So they'll have to tear it apart, tear it open, spray the food, all before you see it happen. You see what I'm saying?
The plastic bag to use? The industrial bag? What did you say it was called?
It's a 3 millimeter thick polyurethane trash bag. They use them for yard service, usually. But that's so you start carrying your food around with you. I had to do it for years. And then you can also change other habits about that too. You know, like, I don't know, you figure that out better than I could sit here and explain to you your life. You know your life.
I don't think I ever had a break-in, but they try to make me think, my house is broken, and then I got implanted.
Well, that's just what I think, Sam, based off what I'm hearing right now. I could be wrong. Hopefully I am. I hope you're right.
I may be wrong. I don't think that it's been a break-in, but like I said, like I had that experience with the van, and I woke up and I went outside. My front door was open, you know, and I don't know if it was like that the whole night. But I woke up the next day and the van drove off, and then they kind of like repeated the same scenario and reminded me about it and turned the V2K on that day when it happened later, a couple of years, more than a couple.
Yeah. And I'm not trying to suppose. I don't know, really. I'm just guessing here based off what you're telling me and whatnot. But it's common for it happens to every single target. They wear, well, almost every single target. I wouldn't know for sure, but they're wearing invisibility cloaks and they're breaking into people's houses at night when everyone's asleep, and during the day when no one's home. They literally have snuck around my house. This is before I knew they were doing this. Just looking back, it's obvious. While I was home, turned on things, moved things around, while me and my mother were home. At the time, I was living with my mom, and I had 2 dogs at the time, and they still did it because they had. Oh man, I hate talking about these people this much, but they had cameras up in the house, so they knew exactly what was going on. And the dogs were behind a bedroom door that was closed, my mom's room, and my mom was sleeping. So they didn't feel as though it was a danger for them to sneak around. And not only that, but we had a caller, I think it was 2 weeks ago. She knew the same thing was happening. Are you here right now? And she ended up trapping one of them in a closet by accident. She just was following sounds and stuff. And at the time, are you here? I'll let you tell the story if you're here. Okay, it's too bad she's not here. After she told this, though, a few weeks ago, she didn't know exactly, but she had a feeling that people were getting in and out of her house. So anyways, she followed the sounds into a closet, and in the closet, she was immediately knocked out, and she fell. Are you here? Is this you? Monica? Are you the person? Okay, sorry, I'll finish. And she immediately got knocked out. Well, at the time, she had been recording from a camera. And another person that we know, Amy from Amy's Audio, investigated that audio. And she boosted the audio around, and what she heard was an operator telling another operator, "I'm trapped in the closet, help me." So what I think happened is that she accidentally trapped one of these cloaked people, and another one of them that was operating in the area released scopolamine and knocked her out. Now, I've had these aerosols, these knockout chemicals released around me before, so it's 100% real. Anyways, that's just one person, one story. I could tell you 3 more stories, but those weren't told to me directly. That one was a few weeks ago. I wish she was here right now.
Hey, Andrew. If you use an infrared light and it's dark and you turn off the lights, would you be able to see them?
You can see them in the right circumstances outside of infrared. I believe infrared would be able to pick up something, right? But I don't know exactly what technology they're using, so I can't really comment more than that. What I will say, though, about that, I do know one more thing about it. Often when they're doing this chemtrail stuff, the cloaking stuff, there's a big chemtrail element to it. They'll release a lot of the chemtrail-like particulates, and I believe it's because it has a micro dust in it that creates like a glitter effect, right, that helps the cloaking work. So if you can manage that element of it, the particulate in the air, then you'll stop a lot of their attempts to cloak around you. And how you do that is by using the copper fans. By putting copper on a ceiling fan and spinning that ceiling fan, it breaks up the chemtrail-like particulate.
Okay, thank you.
Look at the floor and look for feet. Right, Andrew?
Well, I don't know particularly because I've seen all sorts of these operators without their cloaks on. And I'll give you for example, for one, there was one I saw, she was like a 30-year-old woman. Oh, I think she was Israeli. I don't know for sure. Dual national is what I would guess, though. And she was very, very thin. And if you had someone like that walking around with a cloak on, they wouldn't even you'd be hard-pressed to see a depression on the carpet. I mean, she was probably 110 pounds, right? Crazy in the eyes, though. Absolutely crazy.
Sometimes their feet are not cloaked.
Oh, yeah. In the, that's a good point. Sorry, I wasn't thinking of that. In the, what's his name? Kenneth Grove footage that I've been telling people to look at on YouTube or Rumble, the minute long, it shows one of the people cloaking, it shows their feet showing up pretty well. Now, I don't think that's always the case, but it clearly is sometimes the case.
Hi, Andrew. I had a question on the stun gun design.
Uh-huh.
So in the video, I saw it looks like the stun gun that you used was 10,000 volts. It recommended that the stun gun that we get be over 12,000 volts. I'm sorry, over 12,000 volts, or is there like a minimum? Or
I would say the minimum you're aiming for is 4,000 volts. Anyone that's got anything over 4,000 volts, it's worked in my experience dealing with people, and I don't know of anything under 4,000 volts that works.
Okay, and then I had another question in terms of the wire. Let's say you get something that has the 12,000 volts. The wire that you would use for that, should it support the 12,000 volts, or can it be like 900? Or can it support 900 volts?
I would say use insulated wire and have it be 18 to 22 gauge. Do not get enameled wire. Get regular insulated wire, and you'll be fine.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, people that have used enameled wire, there's a few here today, have had it burn out and short. I didn't have that in my experience, but the people that have told me that are here today. I respect what they have said, and I believe them. So just do yourself a favor, get the insulated wire, regular insulated, don't get the enameled wire. It'll be fine.
Andrew, I have a question regarding the stun gun EMP. And the second question I have is about the aerosol spray that's been happening around my room. So the first one about the stun gun, do you have any recommendation? You mentioned about the toggle switch is the one to get, and not the push button one. But do you have any other specific things to consider before ordering a stun gun in Amazon or where? I don't know what else you could get, but I'm going to start looking for one.
Just that if you live in a major city or a pretty good sized city, you can probably buy it retail. I should always suggest doing that over ordering it, because if the human traffickers are listening and they have the resources in the area, they will try to sabotage it in delivery.
Okay, what retail stores? Like Home Depot or?
No, it would be like Fisherman's Warehouse, or what's that, Sportsman's Warehouse, any sporting goods stores, places that sell guns in a retail application usually have stun guns, not gun shops, but like I said, like sporting goods places.
Okay, thank you. And the second question is about the aerosol spray. Now, all of a sudden, I'm getting bombarded with different smells in the room, different types of smell. And the one common one I've heard on the conference call is the human waste smell that's coming into my room. And then I smell some other stuff as well, tobacco, cigarette smell as well. Now, is that common aerosol spray? And also, I do have some kind of a foreign object on my hand that I could see on my right hand. X-ray was not able to detect anything, or they said it's not nothing unusual or outstanding. So I don't know what to think of that. I don't know if it's activated or deactivated. But it is definitely a foreign object.
Okay, so the EMP stun gun will help with that if it's implant. I wouldn't know though. You know what I mean? You would know better than me. But to the first question, the aerosols are often, great question by the way, the aerosols are often covered with various scents so that you don't get keen to it, so you don't understand it. So you think, somebody's smoking tobacco, or somebody pooped and didn't close the bathroom door, or something like that. But what they do is they use those scents to cover that, and that's heavy metal and nanoparticulate is usually in that smell. So they're always binded together. I'll give you an example. When I was living with a family member, they would use a certain shampoo. So during a break-in, they realized that this shampoo is the one that was being used. So they started scenting the aerosol with that shampoo, so that when my family member would use the shower in the mornings, he would use that shampoo. All I'd smell throughout the whole house was this shampoo. Well, it had nothing to do with his shampoo. It's that they had dumped a whole bunch of chemical down the drain close to me, and were utilizing the sewers to wick up this aerosol, which is the main way they'll get you if you live in a house. And so they also do it to people in apartments, but mainly people in houses, because you got to think, how are they going to get this aerosol into your interior? Well, if they pour it down their drain and they're up drain from you, right? So like the next house up the street, then when you use the water, or if your drains are open, they're not being plugged, that you can wick up these aerosols from the drain. So he was using the shower with his shampoo, and they were timed it so that all the aerosols that came up, or the vapors that came up out of the drain, smelled like his shampoo. So he wouldn't think any of the better. He'd get done with his shower, he'd be lightheaded, he'd be dizzy, he'd tell me about it, but he wouldn't know anything more than that. Meanwhile, I've got symptoms, and my whole room is flooded with that shampoo smell. You see how they do it?
Yes.
It's very clever.
And usually my shower drain is wide open, so, and it's not too far away from where I am living at, so it probably is coming through under the door and maybe into the vent. I don't know, but also I want to thank you about the little introduction about the dissociative disorder that most of us go through and have gone through, and I'm just curious as to the steps that you took to get to the point where your internal strength has become strong, and you're at a point of prayer. Now, the stages where you reach the point of prayer required, you said, as you mentioned, required that you become aware of your moment-to-moment experiences, awareness in the day, to be linked away or separated from the reality that we were escaping from. So I was thinking, did you, while you were reaching that stage where you were becoming aware of moment to moment in the day-to-day living, were you doing any special type of awareness technique? That's my final question, and I'll take your answer off the air. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for those comments. I really appreciate it. I was doing stomach breathing. That's how I started the awareness path. That was before the prayer came. I was stomach breathing. And then how I would do that is I would tie bandages, like like hospital bandages, that type of thing, that stretchy stuff. I can't think of the actual term for them. And I'd tie them around my belly, and I'd constrict my belly, and I'd make sure that my belly was pressing against it. And when I was doing that, I realized that I had been holding my stomach in tension for years, and that using not holding my stomach in tension and using it to breathe relieved a lot of pressure from my body in general. And then after that, it was a lot of prayer, and then it was eating alkaline, and then developing basically learning how to detox really well. But first came the stomach breath before all of that.
Andrew, since you're going into the spiritual thing, what do you think about removing your implants by thought, visualization, that sort of thing, via the Holy Spirit? What do you think about that sort of thing?
I think if you stay perfectly aware of everything going on in your body and your mind, then you can overcome anything with no technology. That being said, I'm going to clap and you're going to snap right out of it. You know what I mean? You're going to hear something in the distance and you're going to snap right out of that awareness. It's so hard to stay that aware of anything that you're best off being here, that we're entombed in our mortal shell, right? You're best off utilizing material to overcome, some of this stuff that's being thrown at you. Ultimately, at the end of the day, it's up to our spiritual self to guide us to these answers. As much as I'm saying, yeah, go ahead.
Why can't you do both? Why can't you do the physical and do the spiritual cleansing of the body?
Well, that's what I was saying, is that one will lead to the other always. When you start walking the spiritual path, you'll start manifesting physical things too.
Because I've come across a few people. A lot of them are in the My Lab and the abductee sort of group, and they remove these implants. They're etherical. Well, they believe they're etherical implants, but they remove them. They use different methods, and I've been trying it, and I like it. It's just something I do just before I go to sleep. It's just I can visualize these things in my body, like somebody described them, like a daisy chain, and just pull them out. Literally open a portal in your head or wherever in your body, imagine it, and literally pull them out. I mean,
I know what you're really practicing. I mean, I hear what you're saying. You're really practicing an awareness, right? Like an awareness of things happening in your body, right? And like your mind can overcome anything. But a lot of that My Lab stuff and the people on those spaces are government agents. So I'd really caution you, about...
Yeah, definitely. There are definitely, but there are those that I don't know. I mean, they are targeted. They do describe targeting, but they say, it's military and it's aliens, So, yeah, I take it with a pinch of salt. I don't take it all on board, but it is very interesting. And when I used to be more religious, I would definitely believe that you can overcome the physical through the spiritual. Definitely.
Oh yeah, well that's what I was saying, is that one will lead to another. When you start aligning your spiritual self with these higher values and outcomes like freedom and truth and love, then you will start manifesting these physical solutions. That's how I don't make the distinction of like the EMP stun gun is a spiritual manifestation for anyone that's done that. And again, I know your situation, but for anyone that's done that, you've manifested a spiritual belief of your freedom, right? And like now you have this technological capacity, but the technology came after this true and honest desire to be free.
And what about the whole removing of demons and the laying on of hands and things like this? Again, this is biblical. It's actually written in scriptures about healing people and removing demonic entities from them and things. Isn't it a parallel to or a similar situation to what we're in? We're actually kind of possessed by these things.
A little bit, but it's like the black arts that have manifested into nanotechnology and directed energy weapons sinking have a physicality of a dark spiritual element, right? Like that's a physical manifestation, of some people trying to make slaves out of the world. Right? So why wouldn't the solutions have a physical manifestation also? Right? Because these physical manifestations, it's a material entombment of our beliefs, ideas, and processes, and where we want to go, and where we are. You know what I mean? It's we make this distinction of this is spiritual and this is physical. But what I'm saying is it's a process. It's a process of thought. So, like, yeah, if somebody puts hands on you and says you're now free of demons, you take that into your life, right? And you have to physically manifest that. If I get freed of the alcohol demon, and then I go out and I physically take alcohol and I physically put it into my body, what have I done? Right? The hands did nothing. But if I take that my physical self and I abstain from physically putting alcohol in my body, then yeah, the hands healed me. But the spiritual came before the physical element, almost always. And if the physical element comes first, it's a true gift from God. That's happened to me a few times, as is the spiritual too. And then quickly after, the spiritual will follow. If the physical comes first, very, very quickly after, the spiritual will follow, or else it will fall apart. And this goes for everybody on the call. You could be listening to all these solutions, but if you don't have the desire to not be a slave, to not be human trafficked, then none of this is going to stick with you, right?
Thank you. This is very educational. Yes, they go hand in hand.
Yeah, if you want this to have an outcome in your life, you have to be of the mindset that I don't want to be human trafficked anymore. And a lot of people aren't at that place. They're in that disassociated, learned helplessness state, which is why I talked about it earlier. Because I myself have spent time there. So it's not judgment. It is what happens when the world gets too crazy for you and there's too much fear and pain in your life and you don't know how to deal with it. It doesn't mean you're weak. It's just a situation we get into.
And that's almost like a consent, isn't it? It's like complying. You know, it's like saying, okay, then I give up. You know, do whatever you want to do. But the physical is a thought. So, you know, everything you do starts with a thought. So, yeah, I take your point. But I think people, especially the people who believe in a God, should explore that as well as doing the EMP and the shielding. It doesn't. I don't see how it could hurt.
Yeah, exactly.
Can I comment? I absolutely agree. The thing is, there are degrees of dissociation, and you know, the extreme would be total possession by evil, in my opinion. But also, you know, evil connects with us through our emotional reactions. Okay, so when we have to not react emotionally to any attack. Basically, just like Jesus, he had the self-control to not hate his attackers, and to disconnect from evil. We need to have control over our own emotions, because anger is not a defense. Emotional neutrality is the defense, and that keeps evil from connecting with us. So Roy Masters has a meditation that helps people to become objective to their thoughts and emotions, or false, or somebody else's thoughts and emotions that are put into them by frequencies, and it helps you to become objective. And also it's kind of I've actually overcome physical pain with this meditation. And it's just, it helps you become emotionally neutral. You see, not the dissociation where you're totally cut off from your soul, but where you have control over your emotions. So,
an awareness. That's an awareness. Thank you. That's it. Yep. Thank you. That's that's exactly what we're talking about. So right there, Vicky's giving us a tool to increase our awareness. Can you post it in the chat for everyone, please?
I did. I can post it again. It's Roy Masters Meditation on YouTube. He's got a lot of lectures. He's the late Roy Masters. He knew about mind control operations, and he was an expert on like dealing with evil. And basically, so you can anybody can look it up. I did put it in the chat a while back.
Okay, yeah, I just pulled it up. I'm going to take a look at it. Thank you.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So Andrew, can I just mention something?
Mm-hmm.
For Sam, he spoke earlier where his front doors were open, and then he saw a van outside. Lowe's and Home Depot sell security bars, and I use them, and you can put them up against your doors for safety. And also, depending on what kind of doors you have, if you have sliding glass doors, you can just cut wood like I have before when I had sliding glass doors to brace the door so no one can open it. So there's various tools to help him keep those front doors shut. That's all I wanted to say.
Thanks, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
All right, hey, go ahead.
I I don't think we ever noticed anything break in, but there was funny stuff like I had a side windshield, a side mirror of a car break, and that was parked in my driveway. But stuff like that doesn't really happen often. But I'm just trying to find relief completely with this or whatever, and see.
Yep. Well, hope you're the best. Keep moving through it. You got my email, or don't, do whatever you want. But hey guys, we're nearing 3 hours. I hate telling people what to do, is why I was saying it like that, Sam. I just hate telling people what to do. I always am by accident. I don't mean to. If it's come across like that for anybody on here, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it to be like that.
Learn to say, I recommend.
Yeah, definitely, because I respect your guys' free will. And that's what, like me and Kay were talking about earlier, if you're not at that place, you're not at that place. That's fine. We're all on our own journey here. But I personally, I do not want to spend another day dealing with this. But I will until it's done. Every day I will until I'm free. That's just the way it's going to go. And that's my heart. It's in my heart. And now I'm going to manifest it every day until I'm free. Right? Because I don't consent to this. I never consented to this. Most of us here, we don't condone it, recommend, you know what I'm saying? All the regular targets here. Do you want this to continue in our lives? No. So with that in mind, we're nearing 3 hours, and that's about max for me. So if anybody's got any final thoughts they want to end with, anything they want to say before we close her down?
So Andrew, I just have a question, because you mentioned the braided copper wire for the EMP device. I didn't never use the braided copper wire. I just used the regular 22 gauge wire that was magnetic, I think, or encased. So that works also. I mean, it has been working. Is there a reason why braided would be better?
I just noticed it works well. The enameled magnetic wire will produce a stronger field, but it has a tendency of burning out. The enamel will burns out for people. So just keep your eye open for that.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
And Andrew, I researched, I used to make the tensor rings with the copper wire, with the 8 gauge, 12 gauge, using a drill. And I saw that Slim Spalding videos and other videos available on YouTube and TikTok. And he always says, the instruction says that you have to, when you take 2 strands of copper wire and twist them, it has to be twisted clockwise. If you do it counterclockwise, it does negative effect. I'm not sure if that's true or not.
I don't think it is true. I don't think it is true, because it makes an electrostatic field around it either way. It's the compression that gets you the benefit.
Okay. The other thing they say is, after twisting, now each side you have 2 ends. But those 2 ends have to be joined together in a circle. When you make a circle, when you join them together, it completes the whatever you want to call it, the waves or whatever it's creating. I'm not sure if that's a fact. Do we have to be reconnected?
No, it doesn't have to be connected, but it works better if it is. you can keep them open.
Okay. But
yeah, it's good. I've been messing with that twisted wire for a long time. It's good stuff. You know, take some wires, take some of that Romex and twist it up. You get even better compression area. You get an even better, what are those called? Mobius coil with the Romex, because the insulation, it adds for more compression, more piezoelectric squeezing. All right, guys, it's been a pleasure as always. May God bless us and may God have mercy on us. And I'll see you all next week for a regular time. Thank you.
Critically